My name is Lukas and I got booked for a show, so let me show you how I prepare for a music show. Well, first of all, obviously we need all the infos we can get. That means the rider of the band, that means what venue are we playing, how big is it, what's the PA, what's the situation, is it inside, is it out, any infos you can get, it's going to be great. And then we have to think about what do we need to bring, like what kind of equipment. Then obviously we have to set up a show file, or at least our desk, and patch all the inputs. Then we have to name and label all the in and outs. Naming is in the desk, labeling is on the hardware, as well as set up all the input channels. Is it a stereo input? Is it a mono input? Do we need EQ, dynamics, or whatever? So after that, we can start routing, meaning we have to bring the signals through the desk to an output port, and then we have to patch that output. Well, at the end, I always go over FX, so if you need any dynamics or any reverb or whatever you can think of, followed by the check, obviously. So we set everything up, so we want to check out if everything is correct, is routed correctly. And then we save the scene and the show file and back it up to the USB. So the infos we got for this gig was, a friend of mine called me and she's playing in a two-piece band, in an acoustic band, and they are supporting a bigger band from, I think, Switzerland or Austria. So the promoter told my friend, hey, if you want to play, you need to bring your own sound engineer and your own desk and your own stage box and everything your own, pretty much, which is fine, absolutely fine. I don't know why, but that's how it is on that day. So that's why I got booked. This is the rider that I got from them. The band is called Nervling, and they are a duo. This is a technical rider, provided with the name of the person in charge, which is Tom. I redacted his phone number, but the phone number is on there, obviously, so you can contact them. Perfect. Now, first of all, we have this stage plot. So it's vocal and guitar. Both are singing. And you can see they have two monitors here. There's a little side thing for percussion. And all the infos you need are on here. Now, the second page of the rider was the input list, which is perfect. We have the names of the inputs, which is Moira, the singer, Tom, the singer. Then we have 3, 4, a stereo guitar. 5, 6, we have a stereo looper. 7 and 8, we have stereo loops. 9, we have the ukulele. And 10 is the percussion. Wonderful. We've got the infos about what it is. So she'll bring her own wireless mic. He will bring his own mic. It's an ATM710. And very important, it says 48 volts. So, okay, this might be a condenser microphone if you don't know the microphone. Perfect. Good. We need 2 DIs. We need another 2 DIs. We need another 2 DIs. Okay, 3 stereo DIs. Nice. Ukulele has its own DI box, XLR out. Perfect. And they have their own Shure SM57. And bring that. And that's the input list. 10 channels. Easy. Let's go. Now, the first thing I did was Google the ATM710 because I haven't used it before. And yeah, well, what can I say? It's a condenser mic, so you need phantom power. Fine. Now, next up is what is needed. What do we need to bring? Well, obviously, I need to bring my own desk because that was what is said by the promoter. I need to bring my own stage box, and I need to bring my own mics and DIs. Fine. So, we have 10 inputs, we have 2 monitors, and we have a stereo out. The band will bring their own mics and DI boxes, which is fine. And yeah, so we have a system of SQ-5, AB168. That's going to work out. Now, we have to think about where we want to patch everything in. First of all, we have the inputs of the AB168. I just carbon copied the inputs from the rider on the input list of the stage rack. And we still have another 2, 3, 6 inputs left. Perfect, we have 6 spare inputs. Next, we want to think about the outputs. And as we established, we have 2 monitors, monitor Mora, monitor Tom. On the third and fourth, I'm going to put monitor 3 and 4 just because, then we have something in the backhand. Plus we have 5 and 6, which I'm going to be putting on a stereo monitor. Maybe somebody brought an in-ear. You never know. And on 7 and 8, we put the matrix out, my main left-right. Okay. And since I do not know yet if our signals are going to be passed on at front of house or on stage, I'm going to mirror my outputs on the desk as well. So here we go. I put monitor Mora on the 1, monitor Tom on the 2. I have my Q mix on the 6 here. And we have 11 and 12 for main PA left, right, out, which is going to be my matrix 1. And I put the matrix 1 on the AES as well. So we have options at front of house. I can give them digital AES or analog. Okay, easy. The first thing we have to do now is set up our system, obviously. So I set everything up in my living room and I connected everything. And it's very important that you bring, or that you set up everything you're going to bring to the gig. So if you have a stage box, connect it. If you have anything else, a laptop, please connect it. Make sure that everything you're going to bring to the gig is actually set up. So I have my SQ-5, I have my AB168, I have my laptop connected, and I have a fresh show file. Let's go. The only thing I did so far is do my internal patching, so you hear my voice, and I have my smart setup with my measurement microphone plus a talkback. The next thing I want to do is patch the inputs. So first of all, I labeled the stage box, and then we just want to patch in. The first thing I want to do on my desk is make inputs stereo and outputs stereo or mono. Just make sure that it's set up. So here we go to set up, mixer config, input stereo. And remember, we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stereo pairs. So yeah, we hit apply. Perfect. Inputs are done. Mixed stereo. Just make sure my groups are stereo. We have 4 auxes that are mono. We have 4 auxes that are stereo. And we have the 3 matrices, which are also in stereo mode. Awesome. So this is set up. Now we can go to I/O patching and can go to inputs from S-Link, hit the patch button, and then we go just 1 to 1, all 16 channels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. This is all the inputs we need, but it's always good to have a couple backups on the desk. So let's just patch this through. 16 channels in. Now we have little gaps where we made the stereos. We don't want that, so we hit setup, surface, strip assign. Now we can move these strips around as we wish. We want the 10 input channels on here, and let's get rid of all of this. Awesome. So now we have our 10 input channels. Let's name them. Input 1 is Moira. Always hit apply. Number 2 is Tom. Number 3, 4 is guitar. 5, 6 was loop. 7, 8 is the stereo loops. 9 is the ukulele. And 10 is percussion. Percussion is red for me. Loops and stuff is always purple or pink, whatever you want to call it. Guitars are green for me, and vocals are white. Awesome. So, input channels are done. Now I want to think about our structure, our internal routing. Meaning from the input channels, where does it go from there? I usually mix with groups, meaning I send my input channels to dedicated groups, and those groups go out to stereo left, right. Okay, let's start there. We have 4 groups right now. That's enough. We just need 2, at least I do. I just want all the band on one group and all the vocals on the second group. Okay, let's go to groups. We have group 1 and 2. Group 1 is going to be our vocal group. So vocal, apply. And group 2 is going to be the band, apply. We want to route our channels to the groups now. And the fastest way that I know is we just use the assign button. So you hit left, right, make sure it's really left, right, and then you hit assign. As soon as you hit assign, you see these little LEDs come up. And if you press it, now these channels are off the master fader. Perfect. Now they're going nowhere. But we want them on the group. So we select the group, group vocal, and again we hit assign 1 and 2. Let go. That's it. They're patched. Let's go to the second group, band, and as well we assign all these channels. Now we are patched in. Perfect. What we want to do now is make sure that our groups are routed to main, left, and right. The other one as well, main, left, and right. We can now bring these groups up to 0 level. And if you really want to go to 0, you can always hit the reset and just touch the fader, and it goes to 0. Okay, both groups are patched to the left and right. Now we want to bring out the left-right to matrix 1. And we do that by selecting our left-right, go to routing, and then bring it out to main, left, right. So our stereo goes out to matrix 1, left and right. So next up is setting up the input channels. So what we want to do is just take a look at our input channels and think about what do we need. First of all, I do not need 28 dBs of gain on every channel because that could be potentially bad. Okay, so we all brought them all back down to 0. Now the next thing is obviously I want to check the high pass filter, which is going to go on to everyone because we don't have any real bass signals below 50 Hertz. So we can just avoid rumbling. Okay. I want to make sure that there's a compressor on here. It's the starting compressor, which is a fine thing. We can just start off with that. And so far, I think I'm good with that. Now, we want to make sure that our auxes are also labeled. So my aux 1 is going to be the first monitor out, which is going to be Moira. And the second one is going to be Tom. Great. Okay, so far we have our inputs patched, we have our inputs made up, we have the inputs routed to the groups routed to the master routed to the matrix. So now we can look at outputs. And again, we go to in-out, and now switch to outputs. To S-Link, mix out. So output mix outs to S-Link. We see the 8 channels of the AB168. And now we can just take a look. There we go. We have, what was it? Yes, monitor Moira on 1, Tom on 2. Then I'll just put 3 and 4, and the 5, 6. Plus, now we want matrix 1. There you go. Okay, now we're all patched. But next thing, just make sure you have the FX. I have the standards, because it's a blank file, 2 reverbs, stereo delay, and a doubler. Okay, that's fine. What I really want is a multiband compressor for the main mix. And I have 2 singers, so I might as well just have some dynamic EQ on those. And you can do whatever you like. This is just how I set up my desk. And there you go. Now we have to make sure that these FX are actually patched in. And we want to insert this into input 1. And we want to insert this into input 2, because that's the second vocal. Then we have the multiband compressor. And we want to insert that into our main left-right. Apply. So now we're all set up and we can check out if everything works. First of all, I have a microphone. Here we go. There's the stage box, and we can just patch this into input 1. And if you take a look, hey 1 2, hey 1 2. Yes, there is some signal here. Wonderful. So channel 1 works out. And we do that for every channel we have now, and just make sure everything goes where it should. And again, bring up the volume. And again, here we go. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. And it's coming to the main, left, right, out to the matrix. Just as we want it. And we do that for every channel, just to make sure all the routing we did is correct and that everything comes out where it should. Now, we have everything patched in the stage box. We just want to mirror that on the outputs of the SQ. So back to I/O. Now, outputs again, mix out, but this time it's to local. And remember, we wanted to have Moira on 1, Tom on 2. Perfect. The others are standard patches, which is fine. I don't need the stereo on the desk, I think. And what we want to do is make sure that 11 and 12 is not the stereo, as well as the AES, but we want this to be on matrix 1. Goes to 11 and 12 of the local outputs and to the AES of the local outputs as well. So let's check out now if the outputs are really working. In order to do that, I could use the microphone again, or I can just have a signal generator, get some white noise or pink noise. It is pink noise. Here we go. Awesome. So this is working. Let's bring this out to left and right, and it goes out to matrix. Now, when we want to hear something, I just plug in my talkback mic into monitor 1. So now if we bring up this channel into monitor 1, we see on the talkback channel we have signal. Works like a charm. Nice. Same thing with number 2. Monitor 2 is coming out, and let's just double check. There you go. Monitor 2 is working as well. Perfect. Now left and right, and then we're good. So here we go. We bring up noise to left and right. We see main left right is coming out. We also see, yes, it is coming back into the desk. Perfect. So we are patched out, patched in. We are prepared. Now the last thing, I just want to tidy up my desk and make sure everything is where I want it. And first of all, I want to think about my layer. I have the 10 inputs. What else do I need? I think I want the 2 groups as well. So setup. And let's go to mix and have the vocal group, the band group. At the end, I always like to have my FX. So FX return 1 and 2 and 3 and the 4. Yes. Now, what else could I need? Of course, music. So I want my input stereo 2 is going to be our music. Let's go over here. And you can do this with the I/O matrix, but on the channel there's also the possibility to take the source select, which is great for if you just want to do it really quick. So local socket, nope, we want it from USB port 1 and 2. Apply. And now we have this stereo. Let's call this music. Awesome. Now everything is checked and ready, so the last thing we need to do is save it to a USB file, and then we can go to the show next week. Speaking of which, I will have a second part with the live video, obviously, with some behind the scenes and whatever, just to make sure that you see what we've prepared actually works in real life. So if you want to see the second part, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching and have a great day. Bye.